Hey, what's going on? Congratulations and welcome to Team Commission Format. As you know, I am Jose. I just wanted to congratulate you. You made an awesome decision. I'm excited to have you on board. And again, welcome to Team Commission Format. 2013 is our year. Together, we are going to grow together. We're going to become, who we are together. And we're going to really make a change in the world. And live the way we want and get that financial freedom, because at the end of the day, we're not going to be chasing the money. The money is just a side effect of doing what we love. So if you want to go travel, if you want to go to the Bahamas, if you want to take your kids out on vacation and take them to the Disney cruise, we're going to set up a plan to get you there. But first, you're going to get to know your outcome. All right, in a few videos, I'm going to show you exactly. We're going to break it down into knowing your outcome. Okay, knowing what you really want in life, right? Most of the times, and it's a sad thing to say, but we run around like with chickens with our heads cut off, not knowing what we really want in life. We just, if our friend comes over, hey, you want to go out this weekend? Oh, yeah, cool. I'll go out with you, because you don't have plans. So guess what? If you don't have plan, if you aren't marching to your beat, then you're marching to someone else's beat. And so this year is about, marching to your own beat and being able to get whatever it is that you want in life. In the world, this money is abundant. There's so much money out there. But when we chase what we think we want, we don't get it. Right? So I want to introduce you to, money is not what you want. It's the money it's the lifestyle that the money brings. Right? So you need to know what is the outcome of what you want in life. Because if not, you're not going to have motivation. You're going to have these times where you make money, then you don't make money. Then you make money and you don't make money, and you're never really happy. You're kind of chasing it or living in the rat race. And it's because, what is it? What's his name? Sorry, not what is it? But I believe his name is not Bill Baskin, but Bill Glazer. I've heard this quote from Bill Glazer, and he says, everybody walks around with umbilical cords looking for someone to plug into. And if you ever read up on seduction or dating, if you ever got divorced and was like, hey, it's time for me to go out in this world and find me a new girl. So if you ever read up any of those dating books, I'm not saying that I have, but if you have, one thing that you'll notice in those dating books, it says, just be confident. They call it peacocking or peacocking, meaning being different than everybody else, like have a certain way. And the guy Mystery, his peacock was like this crazy hat. I don't know if you ever seen a TV show. I believe it was a TV show called Mystery. I know I got his book. But it was this thing called peacocking. And basically, looking a different way than and that's how you get a girl's attention, because they're like, wow, who's this guy? But when you come over there, when you have certain words that you're saying and you show this confident and you come into a room with a smile, then girls are like, man, why is that guy so happy? Because he has a plan, right? And picking up girls, he knows that you got to be confident. You have to smile, and girls gravitate to that, because it's like they don't normally see that. They don't normally see a guy walking into a room with a smile on their face, right? So, right, and that's because they show this confidence. Like, why is this guy so happy? What is he doing every day? So, and it goes back to that quote, people walk around with umbilical cords looking for someone to plug into. And that's why in this training, in this membership area, you're going to learn how to build a community. You're going to learn how to build a tribe, and something that you're passionate about, something that you've always wanted to do, whether it's teach people on how to build tribes, or whether it's teach people on how to perform magic, or teach people how to sew and knit. You can share your story with the world, and you're going to attract a certain audience. And there's so many people in this world. It's a global economy. It's funny when people say, you know what, well, the overseas, they're taking our jobs, and, now we got to compete with everyone in the world. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There's more people to attract to your tribe. There's more people to do business with, okay? So just remember that. So in the course, we're going to break down know your outcome. We're going to show you how to I'm going to show you how to set the plan. And actually, not me. Me and my team are going to do this, right? So you're going to get access as well to my team. It's not just me. This team membership, team commission formula is not about me. I mean, we have other leaders that decided to step up and be a part of this journey and stepped up to become leaders. And they're taking massive action every single day. So that's what we're going to cover. Know your outcome, set the plan, and take massive action. Okay, and I just want to get into a few slides that I just wrote down, some things that have helped me in my life. You know, my thought process, you know, so, you know, at first, when I first got into this, you know, I thought people were just wishy-washy, you know, I thought all that stuff and thinking positive and, you know, it was all BS, you know, but it was until I got a certain level in my life to where I reached financial success that I was like, wow, this stuff is really true. Because when I reached financial success, I wasn't happy. I had millions and I wasn't happy. And the reason I got millions is because, you know, I didn't go out there like most gurus do. That's why I don't consider myself a guru. I think a guru is a person that goes out there and they try to see, okay, how can I sell to my market? Okay, I don't come from that place. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build, and you're not going to come from that place. You're not going to try to sell people. You're going to attract people that want to be a part of your business, of your story, because you're doing it and you're just, you know, you're living it, right? So first we're going to show you, put a plan so that way you can live the life that you want. And then we're going to put a plan and take massive action. And we're going to start driving traffic. In this training, we're going to discuss, you know, we have some training by my man Shakir on how to do solo ads. We have some of my training on how to do pay-per-click marketing, which is paid traffic. We have how to generate traffic. You know, the beginning of this video, when you came in, you saw a video of how to generate traffic, you know, using social media for free. And you can start doing that today. You can start doing that right now, right? So we're going to attract people. And the way we attract people is we're going to get people to know, like, and trust you. That's the main thing about selling. Yeah, at the end of the day, you are selling, but you're not, you know, you are selling because you're making money in return, but you're not going into it to become a seller. You're not going to come into the guru space and say, okay, well, how can I teach people? You know, I want to make money by showing people how to make money and doing something that I'm not passionate about. Okay, I'm passionate about teaching others. I'm passionate about making a difference in this world. You know, when I first started, you know, I was importing products from China, you know, and that's how I first started, just because I wanted to create an online income for my family. You know, I had just left the workforce. I had just left the Navy. I was a delivery driver. I became a loan officer. I had a deal with Trump, and I said, you know what, screw that. He wanted to buy my company and not give me any money, so I said, screw that. I left the workforce, and I had to, you know, I put myself balls to the wall, right? So I had to make things happen. And what I found is when I put myself in that situation, because I had to make things happen, because I knew I was going to make things happen, guess what? I made things happen. And that's why I have this list now, because I've attracted people to who I am. Right? Not me trying to be some fake and trying to show you, oh, you know, how you can, this little tactic that you can use to, you know, make millions of dollars online. Because the fact of the matter is that you can't push a button and make $1 million overnight. It takes hard work. It takes commitment, right? And we're gonna let's get into these slides without. So yeah, so let's get into these slides right now. All right, so only way to fly is to continue the course, all right? So I want to show you guys an analogy, and this is how you're going to reach success with this course, because the only way to fly is to continue the course. Okay, I'm going to draw something out, and let's see if you, okay, so and when I say fly, think of a plane in a runway, right? So this is my runway. And if you hear the music in the background, don't mind it. That's how I get motivated. I got to listen to my music. So, all right, so this is a runway, okay? And I heard this. This was a great analogy that I actually heard at the Masters event. And, you know, I had to share this with you guys and it's so true. I mean, it applies to, you know, what I've done in my life and what other successful leaders have done in their life. So think of it as a runway, right? And now this is your plane. This is your plane traveling, right? So I don't even know how to draw a plane. Let's say, shoot. All right, so this is a plane, right? This is your plane. How far does this plane, you know, need to take off, right? It needs quite a distance to take off, ladies and gentlemen, right? Imagine, it needs quite a ways to take off, right? A runway, the plane needs to build the momentum. It needs to, stay the course. It needs to stay straight before it catches flight, right? So what happens if you was to cut it off right here? What would happen if you cut it off right there? What would happen? Would it take flight? No, it would just crash. It would try and it'd probably crash, right? And in life, the same thing applies in life, right? If you want to reach success, be good at something, right? You just got Empower Network. Study the material in there. Stay the course. Build the momentum. When things get hard, when distraction comes, this is distraction. Distraction come right here. Say, no, I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to stay the course and I'm going to build that momentum. And a lot of people come into Empower, and I don't want to say a lot of people, but most of the naysayers, most of the people that have the attitude, well, I can't do this, I won't do this, this is too hard. Really? This is hard? This is hard. Learning, staying online for a couple hours, learning and mastering your craft is hard. Sharing your story, telling people how you feel, coming up with a plan to live in the life you want to live, and telling people this is the plan that you have. And this is the plan that you're going to achieve? You mean to tell me that's hard? I mean, let's go to, a strawberry or what? A strawberry field where they pick strawberries? I don't know. I think those guys out there doing the pickings have a hard job compared to what we have to do as internet marketers, right? So we buy all these next courses, this new course. Oh, this course didn't work. I wasn't interested in that. And we say, oh, it didn't work because you didn't stay the course, right? So stay the course, build the momentum, and eventually you'll take flight. I promise you. All right, so let's get into our next slide. Where's my slides at here? Only way to fly is to continue the course. Success is the journey, not the destination. Remember that. I want you to remember that. Success is not, getting $1 million. That's not success. Becoming a millionaire is not the success. It's the journey that you take on your way and how you did it and what you learned and where you've been and what you have done. What have you provided to this world, to your friends' lives, to your own life, to your family? Success is the journey that you take to living how you want to live, to getting whatever it is that you really want in life. We have all this distraction in this world. TVs, our friends who have no direction, who watch the same TV shows over and over and over and over, drink some beer. I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad to do that and you can't live your life like that. Having some free, but is that what you want to do every single day of your life? Are you happy? You can plan for that. You can plan for a lot better. You can, instead of staying stuck in this vicious cycle of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So lay down your journey. Lay it down. So be you and be you. Don't be somebody that you're not trying to be. I'm in my house right now. I'm not trying to be somebody I'm not. You can tell this is me. I'm passionate about this stuff. Because you know what? The last couple years of my life, I made $1 million and I wasn't happy. And I was around people that just wasn't genuine people. That just didn't come from a place of right here, of caring for people, feeling for people. It's all about making $1, And to me, and it's to me too, I live my life about making $1, working my ass off so I can provide for my family. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I wasn't giving back to this world. I wasn't making a difference. I knew that's what I wanted to do, but was I? I didn't feel like I was. I was sharing my story with people, but I didn't feel like I was. I felt like such a fraud. because I was a part of that type of environment, just all fraud, you know. I'm not a guru, I'm just me. So be you. Think big. Don't come from a place of lack of. You can't achieve this, you can't achieve that. Guess what? You're not going to achieve it, so think big. Do big, be big. Here's a great book. It's helped me out. The Magic of Thinking Big. Get that book. Think positive. Think positive. Stop thinking so negative of other people, of yourself. Right? Start thinking positive. Be happy. Claim who you are and be happy with who you are. Start thinking positive. Everything. We didn't come on this planet. We weren't born to be on this planet to be all negative. You know, to suffer in misery. Misery loves company. I was watching a movie actually with my kids yesterday. Real talk. I was watching a movie with my kids yesterday, and it was called Jackie M or something, with Tom Cruise. And in the video, the lady, Tom Cruise is just this wanderer. Served time in the military, was this wanderer. And this lady in the movie was a detective. She was a lawyer. And she was supporting this guy who had committed 6 murders. And the guy that committed 6 murders, he was a sniper in the military. And he sniped these 6 people, committed them. They all had perfect lives. And anyway, the guy was innocent. He ended up being innocent, and he wanted Tom Cruise to come down, right? Because Tom Cruise was a guy that he would kill people, he would assassinate people because they would do bad things in the world. And so anyway, there was this scene where Tom Cruise was with this lady, and they're in New York or some place in New York, and she's in her office. It's like 7:00 p.m. She's in her office. And she's like, Tom, she tells something to Tom, and it was like, I mean, really, you don't have no bags, you're wondering, like, what are you doing with your life? And he looks out, and he's like, come over here. He takes her by the window, right? He's like, I'm going to take you by the window. My window's a little bit different, but he's like, come over here. And there's all buildings over there, and there's people working late at work, just typing on their computers. Just like you can see, they were miserable. And he's like, and he tells her, now you mean to tell me that he said something about, his life, he's able to travel, because he served it, protecting his people so they can have the freedom that they wanted. And what was he doing? And he left the military. He was like, what? Protecting the people's freedom? Does this look like they're free? These corporations building these companies, and just like these bills that we attract, all the noise, all the gadgets that we think they want, that we think we want. Do these people look like they're free? Or they're stuck in a system? And it's like we are stuck in a system. We live like the Matrix instead of living how we want. So that was just to me, like, to me to see that in the video, and I was just looking at other people, like, to see if anybody else got that. Like, wow, I can't believe, like, and it is, I think this year, 2013 is the year of the awakening, where we awaken to, realizing that, life is not about what mom and dad told us life is going to be like, or how you should live your life. Go to school and, get an education, and, be who get an education, get a real job, get a good job, right? We've all heard that, right? But that's because that's what they were told, right? It worked back then in the industrial age. Now it's a new generation. Now it's a new world. The world is changing. It's evolution, we're evolving. It's becoming different. Look at the computer that controls us, the technology. So anyway, think positive, all right? Know the outcome. Know the outcome. Know what is it, whatever you're doing, what is it for? What is the outcome? Is it providing to the outcome that you want? So know the outcome. That way you can focus on what really matters in life. And all the other shit, just, hey man, it has no meaning. Because you know what your outcome is. Right? So in anything you do, know your outcome before you even do it. It's like going in the fridge, right? And my mentor told me this, Kevin. Excuse me. And it's a great analogy as well. It's like you go into the fridge and you get all these, you get the mustard, ketchup, eggs. You get all these recipes, but you don't know what you're going to make. You just go in the fridge, you start grabbing a bunch of stuff, but you don't even know what you're going to make. And in life, we do that. We start getting these jobs. We start doing these little gigs. We start, going out and doing stuff that doesn't benefit our lives because we're getting all these ingredients. We don't know what the outcome is that we want. So know your outcome. Take massive action. Take massive action. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That should be take massive imperfect. Imperfect. I hope it's like that, imperfect. See? You don't need to be good at grammar, spelling, none of that stuff. Take massive imperfect action. Okay? Change behavior, change results. Okay? So if you change your behavior, if what you've been doing hasn't been benefiting your life, then do something else. Change what you're doing. A lot of times we focus on, all right, so this is a great analogy for change your behavior, change results. Okay? So I'm going to show you something. I have a coin here. And within that coin, I can blow it into thin air. Okay? Now, me practicing magic, yes, I practice magic. If I was to focus on the result, if I was to say, okay, I just wanted to make that coin disappear. As a magician, I wouldn't be able to do that because we all know you can't make things disappear. Yeah, I just made it disappear, but it was the technicalities, the sleight of hand that it took to make it seem like that coin disappear, right? So if you focus on creating the coin, making the coin disappear, you're not going to make the coin disappear. But if you focus on the sleight of hand, which is the behavior and what you have to do with your hands every single day, practice and make perfect, then I can cause the behavior, the result of the coin, making the coin look like it disappeared. Because you can't control an outcome. You can't control it disappearing, but you can control the behavior. So start thinking about, the best people in the world. What does it take if you want to be the best internet marketer in the world? What kind of behaviors do you need to have to be the best internet marketer in the world, right? If you want to be success and be a multi-millionaire, whatever, what kind of results or what kind of behavior do you need to have? You need to work hard. You need to work, read books. You need to do all that, read, be a master of your art, So change your behavior, change your results. Be the change you want to see in this world. Okay? Be the change that you want to see in this world. If you want to see more positive people in the world, be positive. You'll start attracting more positive people in the world just by becoming who you are. You'll start attracting people who are just like you. So if you want to see a change in the world, be the change. Start with yourself. And what you did yesterday, what you did a month ago, what you did, 2 years ago, isn't the person you can become today. Isn't the person you are right now. And right now is always the perfect time. Right now. So be the change right now. All right, that's it for this video. On behalf of Team Commission Formula and myself, I welcome you. Together, we are going to grow. We are going to take massive action. We are going to change the world. We're going to start building tribes and communities around things that we're passionate about. My team and I are excited to be doing this, to be a part of your life, to create like-minded individuals, positive people that take action. This is a journey for all of us, and we're extremely excited to be in a part of your journey. All right, I'm Jose, signing out.